Working smarter as opposed to working harder. Welcome to day 193 and tell I'm a YouTube millionaire. Working smarter as opposed to working harder means, it necessitates, that you constantly tinker with your methodologies. This is especially poignant with people as they get older. When you're younger, you can fail a couple times, a couple really big times with some of your ventures, and dust yourself off, get back up, start again. But as you get older and older, and this is principally why the 30-year-olds to the 55-year-olds end up being the ones who run the main brunt of the world, because we don't live that long, but right around the age of 30 is where we start to get our feet under us. They don't have as much time to get everything sorted out. They have some failures behind them, which is good. It's not a bad thing. And they still have enough time in front of them to accomplish many great things. Enough time for compound interest to really take effect. For those of you who don't fully understand compound interest, Einstein said that it was the eighth wonder of the world. And I would strongly agree with him in that regard. But basically, let's say you take $1,000 that you put into a savings account that gives you 5% interest per year when you're zero, when you're brand spanking new, born. Brand spanking new. You're a brand spanking new human, but you're born. And then you do nothing with it, don't put anything into it, don't take anything out of it, just leave it there until you're 65. That $1,000 will have turned into millions by the time you start taking money out of it. And even with inflation taken into account, you'll still be in the millions of dollars. You still be way wealthier than you were before. You take this and you multiply it by 500 or what have you, well more than that. If you take that $1,000 that you put into an account and you don't take out of it anything for 500 years, not 65, but 500 years, you're not going to have millions of dollars. You're going to have billions or trillions. You're going to be able to fund the entirety of a central government for a whole country with that one account. Now, had we not taken the funds out of Benjamin Franklin's 1,000 pound sterling account that he set up back in 1790, had we left it in there, imagine how big it'd be right now. When it was taken out, it was like $2 million, something like that. And at this point, it would probably be on the order of like 15, 20 million. And then if you keep letting it grow, in another 50 years, it wouldn't be 15, 20 million, it'd be 100 million, maybe 200 million, then eventually a billion, eventually a trillion, etc. You get the point. So we still have time at this point in our lives to really do something great with our futures and the futures of others. But you have to start working smarter as opposed to working harder. You can't leverage as much. You have to go with more surefire investments. And if something is shown to you to not work, pretty quickly you have to exit stage left. You can't stay in a situation like that for long. So that's why when I see ventures where people and individuals are treating me like a slave, paying me 50 cents an hour type of thing, I either need to rejig how I operate in that venture, or I need to get out of it immediately. So when it comes to YouTube, the fact that they moved the goalpost on my mom's YouTube channel and are paying us literally about 50 cents an hour right now, I've re-gauged. The reason I haven't completely exited stage left is because YouTube the repository will last forever. Even if YouTube goes bankrupt, those videos are going to stay online. The only issue that you come across there is if the actual servers that contain the information are somehow destroyed, but they're decentralized. So while that could be done, it'd have to be done in all of their server farms across the entire globe. Such is the virtue of decentralization. YouTube knew this to begin with. It was quite a smart move on their part. Even though they have extreme biases, they still did things that were very smart. There's no denying that. So, I'm keeping the effort up. I've just lowered it with that channel. Instead of me putting 5 hours a day into building my mom's YouTube channel for her, managing the back end for her, I'm now putting about 1 hour a day. I'm keeping the progress going, keeping the channel growing, so that even if we're getting literally 1% the views of every other channel that has not been throttled in that niche, 1% of 1,000,000 is still good. That's still 10,000. So we'll have to deal with that. And if they get to the point where they start throttling even that to instead become 0.1% or 0.01%, then they're not just going to be hurting us, they're going to be hurting everybody. So it's an unfortunate reality that in their effort to keep a particular individual or group of individuals down, if they never stop, then they're going to take everybody down eventually, including themselves. And I ain't going to stop. All I have to do is keep the effort up, even if only tacitly. And that's how it goes. The unfortunate thing is, you have to work smarter, but then you also butt up against your own temporal limits. I can only go so far because I'm not going to live to 1,000,000 years. However, their servers, their infrastructure, their graphical user interfaces and all that stuff will be there for a very long time. They don't really have a time limit. Or if they do, it's on the order of millions or even billions of years, because it takes a few million years for a hard drive, a spinning disk hard drive, to decay. I think it's a little bit less for solid state, but it's still a long time, to the point where the information on it cannot be read anymore. Well, they can just copy the information onto another hard drive before that happens. You see? So it's almost indefinite. Not completely indefinite, but almost. So you have to work smarter. What I'm doing is I'm putting my tendrils out in many different ventures, putting not so much energy into it that it will wear me out, but enough energy into it to where it's been given its proper chance to see if it actually does something. You get much more discerning when every single effort that you've put in has been a failure. So long as you don't give up. And that's been the case with me. I'm not giving up. It's not something that I would ever do. I love life. I want to live. I just want to live well. And that's the rub here. So you get much more intelligent with how you use your energy. Keep that in mind. You can be reckless when you're younger, and it's at least, it's not just salvageable, but it's actually justifiable, because you have that time to take that risk, and in order to do massive, gigantic things, sometimes it's required to take those gigantic risks. Like getting to a different planet, right? Elon Musk is busting his ass going as fast as he possibly can, and even doing that, building his SpaceX, his Boring Company, his electric cars, all this stuff, even doing that, he's still in his 50s, and we still haven't gotten to Mars. But he got success, and a lot of it really early, and this was a goal that he wanted from the start. So he's got to sprint to it, because we don't live very long. And we're very ephemeral. And while he gets it, he's got the resources to do it. He's got to build that infrastructure, which takes a lot of time. And then he's got to have people that are wanting to continue the process once he leaves this planet. I mean, passes away, because he might go to Mars. Who knows? So, yeah. This kind of relates to some of the other stuff I was saying in my last video. You know, it'd be okay if I was delayed this much, if I lived 3,600 years or suddenly came into a lot of resources. But that's not going to happen. A lot of people are talking about how this summer there's going to be a lot of arrests with the deep state and things are going to dramatically change. No, they're not going to. You got to accept that. Things don't happen immediately. They don't happen quickly. It just doesn't. If you want to keep your system at least somewhat together, it can't happen that way. Now, I'm okay with completely burning it and destroying it, but, you know, they're not. So be it. Make the best of your lot in life. Work smarter rather than harder. Love y'all. Peace.